everyone, welcome to Genians Sales Webinar. Hi, my name is Yeonju Lee in Apex Sales Manager. Genians prepare the sales session for enhancing your sales skill when you meet and persuade your customer. This sales session consists of 6 sessions. Today, it is the 5th session of Successful Story in Top-Tiered Company. We will learn what industry Genian NAC has been mostly adopted and why they choose Genian NAC than others. Okay, we will look at what we learn from this session. There are 3 messages we needed to pay attention. First, we will learn what industry are adopted Genian NAC mostly. Second, we will learn what are the things that the customer wanted to solve by NAC solution. Third, we will learn what is the winning point of the Genian NAC. Okay, we will look at the 3 successful stories in the business field. So before I started, the Genian success story start with this flow: industry, problem, environment, competing, winning point. We needed to understand what problems the customer has, and we needed to know what environment customer has built up around them, and how Genian NAC could win the bidding. There are 3 industries that I prepared today. First, manufacturing. They needed to secure their R&D critical assets such as design artwork and CAD and other intellectual property. Second, finance. They needed to secure their own financial statement and personal financial information. Third, hospital. They needed to secure personal healthcare information. Okay, let's first look at the manufacturing. I choose the one large company which has many subsidiaries in Korea. This company first established 1967 and very specialized in automobile in South Korea. The company information on the next was based on the time when the customer first asked the Genian NAC. So they had employed over 69,000 at the time in one headquarters, and also a few other branches on other regions. What they are really secures are R&D documentation, CAD design art stuff, and also intellectual property such as patents and rights. Okay, let's move to what problems they had before NAC. Let's look at the graph. There are 5 criteria which are visibility, user authentication, device security posture check, rogue event, and compliance. The customer had a problem of there were unmanagement between the regular employee and third-party staff. This company has frequently visited many third-party staff who are coming to the office and co-work a lot. Second, they had very low visibility of inside a network. Third, there were no device control, especially external devices such as USB or HDD, which were brought by both the regular staff or third-party staff. This is the customer environment. They have one headquarters and several branches on the other region. There are several factors we needed to look at it through this environment. However, I would like to choose 3 factors we needed to highlight today. First, switch deployment. This company already deployed multiple vendor of switches and various versions of them. Second, operation. This company was still divided into infra team, which are usually handling the switch deployment, and security solution team, which are usually managing security solution. This is very normal case in Korea, so I'm also wondering how it looked like in your country. Is it the same scenario or different? Third, authentication. This company had their own developed authentication method, so they required the Genian NAC to apply this method on NAC solution. Genian NAC proposed to customer as below. As you have seen many times before, Genian NAC's policy server and network sensor deployed it on this location. And also, plus trunk port setting, one network sensor could cover several switch on headquarters. Regarding the switch deployment, Genian NAC had no dependency on existing switch. After IT manager just simply allocated IP to the network sensor, it started working. Operation, there is no configuration with the existing infrastructure, so there is no need to share this deployment plan between the infra team and security solution team. Authentication, Genian team fastly adopt customer needs the authentication method into the Genian NAC. Plus, one of the features in the Genian NAC is the device control. So with the policy setting on the admin console, unauthorized external devices such as a USB is automatically blocked, preventing from a risk of the data leakage. Let's look at other competitor. We called it other NACA, how they propose to the customer. Their visibility and control ways are by the radius-based NAC. As we have already checked previously, session 4, all environment must support reduced feature. If some switch or controller does not support the radius, IT manager should find a way by manual configuration. With above reason, IT manager and the security team should share and communicate with the IT infra team how many switches and how different vendors and versions are there. And regarding the authentication method, the competitor had a limitation to flexibly adopt this authentication method into their solution. So it was inevitably come with the manual configuration. Summarizingly, there are 3 criteria that Genian NAC could win. First, Genian NAC deployment is no vendor dependency. Otherwise, radius-based NAC has a limitation to deploy it on the environment. Second, after deploying the network sensor, Genian NAC start to work. However, radius-based NAC had several manual configuration left for working. Third, with this easy deployment, it comes to high using of Genian NAC solution itself by the IT manager. However, with the complex deployment and setting, it leads to the lower using of the solution and still maintaining the initial setting. And finally, the competitor solution cannot fully secure the customer environment. Okay, let's look at the second industry of finance. I choose that major financial company in Korea. This company first established in 1989. They had employed over 2,000 at the time and one headquarters. And what they really had to secure are the only trusted device should be inside against the malicious process, and all of logging events should be submitted by satisfying the national financial government as the compliance. Let's move to the what problems they had before NAC. Let's look at the graph first. By the figure of the graph, you can find that the customer had highly need of user authentication, device security posture check, and log event. The customer had a problem of no user authentication about whose devices is doing what. What I mean that each device should have its own device ID and enable to be tracking the devices doing what. So with this information, IT manager enabled to find who was causing the accident before, after the accident was occurred. Second, only trust device, which means that authorized in and safe the devices should be inside, preventing from the external threat. Third, the financial company should submit the annual log event to the national financial government as the compliance, audit. This is the customer environment. They have a one headquarter. There are several factors we need to check. First, switch deployment and operation, they are the same one above the manufacturing case. But however, this customer has clear requirement because they are monitored and audited by the government. First, the customer should check some device which are trying to access prohibited application. For example, stock trading application. One example, an employee in the company cannot access some specific stock market application or website for buying and selling stock privately. So once the employee tried to access this kind of application, Genian NAC make the employee devices block it. Second, the customer should submit an annual audit report to the public financial deputy in the government. As I mentioned above that, this is one of the compliance the financial company should comply. Genian NAC proposed the customer as below. Genian NAC's policy server and network sensor deployed at this moment at this location, and with the trunk port setting, one network sensor could cover several switches on headquarters. And regarding the way of switch deployment and operations are the same above the manufacturing case. And about the customer requirement of the block the prohibited website, with the Genian agent, Genian NAC identify and blocked if some devices are trying to access some doubtful process or website. Therefore, the employee in this company cannot access specific stock market website or application for their own personal profit. About the second requirement for audit, Genian logging event, IT manager enabled to identify user matching with the device for very fast of the long period. Plus, Genian NAC provide elastic search such as NoSQL, which function to search and categorize a large increasing of accumulated daily log in a very fast. Let's look at the other competitor. We called it other NAC B, how they propose to the customer. Their visibility and control ways are the IPAM plus basic NAC. As we have already checked previously session 4, IPAM plus basic NAC cannot function NAC solution fully itself. Regarding the switching deployment operation, they might have a limitation to deploy the controller by the way of automatically. About endpoint security posture check, IPAM plus basic NAC has a limitation to full scan of a status of a endpoint security posture, such as if antivirus software is successfully installed and running, and it is not easy to finally list to the remediate it against the potential threat. And regarding the annual log event for the audit, IPAM plus basic NAC provide logging event in a very short period for about within 6 months, which cannot be rolled for the annual audit report. Summarizingly, how Genian NAC could win is that the customer were very satisfied with each deployment with no vendor dependency. Second, fully check, remediate the endpoint device security posture. Third, customer evaluate Genian NAC as they had been looking for so far for securing their inside network. Okay, let's look at the last industry of a hospital. I choose that major medical center in Korea. This hospital also established in 1989. They had employed over 2,000 at the time and one headquarters. What they really had to secure are the personal healthcare information, and this customer should meet the national healthcare government compliance of the security infrastructure development. Okay, let's move to the what problems they had before NAC. Let's look at the graph. By the figure of the graph, you can find that the customer highly need of device security posture check, log event, and compliance. The first, customer had a problem, no endpoint security posture check against the malicious code outside it. Second, this hospital required to report to the national healthcare government how highly implementation of security solution in the hospital for their security. This is the customer environment. They have one headquarters. There are several factors we needed to check. The first, switch deployment and operation. It is also same one above the manufacturer and the financial case. However, this customer hospital has also clear requirement because they are also monitored and audited by the healthcare government. The first, the customer keep the patient's healthcare information in safe. Second, the customer asked the Genian they needed to integrate with the Genian NAC with their existing security solutions, such as next generation firewall, IPS, antivirus, for monitoring its log event. Genian NAC proposed to the customer as below. Genian NAC policy server network sensor deployed in this location. Also with the trunk port setting, one network sensor could cover several switches on headquarters. And regarding the way of switch deployment and operations are the same above the manufacturer and financial case. And about the patient information in safe, with the flow of a Genian NAC authentication and installing the Genian agent, Genian NAC only allowed the device which are verified both the authorized and safe device accessing inside for securing confidential patient information. About the integration, Genian's team support fast technical service of the integration Genian NAC with a third-party solution. With the information of the IP, user ID, and authentication information from the Genian NAC, third-party solutions such as firewall, SIEM, SIM could be working more expandable and secure. Let's look at the other competitor. We called it other NAC C, how they propose to the customer. Their visibility and control ways are by the SNMP pooling. As we have already checked the previous session 4, SNMP pooling is the one of the way for NAC. However, the way of SNMP pooling has a limitation to detect the traffic from layer 2 in a real time. Sometimes it occurs delayed or drop the traffic. Regarding the switch deployment operation, they also might have a limitation to deploy their controller by automatically. There might be awkward to configure manually. About the customer requirement first, SNMP pooling support to scan endpoint security posture with agent installation, but sometimes there is being awkward of traffic delayed or dropping. About the second requirement of the integration, SNMP integration pooling support integration with a third-party solution. But however, one of a vendor who use this way charge the customer the price in a separately. Summarizingly, the how Genian NAC could win is that the customer very satisfied with its deployment with no vendor dependency. Second, fully check, remediate endpoint device health check. Third, flexibly integration with a third-party solution for more secure the hospital environment. So far, we have looked over Genian's successful story. This is the end of today's webinar session 5. So I highly appreciate you joining this session 5 today. I hope you guys see you to next week with the next session. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining today.